I'm Dr. Denise Colson, Executive Director of Eagles Landing Christian Counseling Center, located in Georgia, just south of Atlanta, and trauma education and consultation services. In this episode of God Heals Trauma, I'm interviewing Dr. Shante Fluker, the Associate Director and Intake Coordinator for ELCCC. Stay tuned to hear her personal testimony of healing from childhood trauma using the Strategic Trauma and Abuse Recovery System, or 12STR, and how you can get an appointment with one of our counselors to begin your healing journey. Remember, God heals trauma, and He wants to heal you. All right. I'm Denise Colson. I'm the Executive Director of Eagles Landing Christian Counseling Center. And I have with me today our Associate Director, Shante Fluker. How are you today, Shante?
I am great, Denise. Great to be a part of this journey.
Wonderful. I wanted to interview you to talk about a couple of things. First, we're going to talk about the counseling center and some basics about how we function, how you can get an appointment, that type of thing. But then I
Okay.
also know that you have a very powerful personal testimony about your experience in counseling. So I'd like to also give you the opportunity to share that today.
Okay. Okay. Perfect.
Let's talk about what is Eagles Landing Christian Counseling Center and what do we offer and what do we do?
Eagles Landing, it's where we connect wounded people dealing with trauma to freedom. We set up intakes, we connect them with a counselor that kind of relates to them. I am also the intake coordinator. That is ministry for me as we connect the wounded that has really dealt with some trauma in their life, and most of us have, and just helping them navigate through what they've experienced and what was done to them and help them
Okay.
through the healing process of
Okay. All
with
right.
counseling.
All right. What does it mean for Eagles Landing to be a Christian counseling center?
So it means that we integrate psychology, theology, and Christianity, incorporate the three together to help with the process of the trauma that they've experienced or anything, anxiety, depression, anything that you need someone to understand and talk you through the process.
So does that mean that other people from other faiths really aren't going to feel welcome here?
Oh, absolutely not. And I've done pastoral counseling here, and I've had clients that were not Christians, as you would say, but no, everyone has an opportunity at Eagles Landing Christian Counseling Center to be whole. And it's not just about Christianity. That is a part of it, but if that we meet you right where you are. If that's
Oh,
not
okay.
the
Good.
conversation you want to have, we don't have to have that conversation, but we are still going to help you navigate through whatever your experience or whatever brought you to us.
Okay. And what age groups do you see?
Oh my goodness. We start as early as 3 toddlers, and we've had clients as high as 80. So, from as you enter this world and journey through, we can see you.
And what kind of payments do you accept?
So we have several methods, of course. We take credit card, we take insurance. The major insurance providers, Blue Cross Blue Shield, Aetna, Cigna, United Healthcare, things of that nature. We have self-pay, we have interns that work here as well, navigating through getting their hours for counseling. And we will find someone you can connect with as low as $35 per session, whatever it takes. We're willing to kind of adjust things, and we can see all ages and all economic statuses, if that
Yeah,
makes sense. Yeah.
good. And I know that we have students too that I supervise
Yes.
and that you help with the direction to make sure they get clients. When you think student, you think right out of college, but most of our students are on their second or even third career. They're
Right,
adults with
right.
families. And are you able to schedule people then with the students at a lower cost?
Oh, absolutely. And yes, they're not right out of school. So once I explain that, our potential clients are more apt to see one of our interns or students because they're of age where they've been through
Mm-hmm.
some things and they can kind of relate to you and meet you right where you are. Absolutely. And because they're on this journey or they're, like you said, their second career and needing those hours, they're very understanding with the
Yeah.
cost. We can kind of negotiate that with our students, but they are absolutely amazing.
Yes, they are. That's great.
Yeah.
So, how can we share with folks how the intake process works, how they can make an appointment with someone in our office?
Okay, sure. We would definitely welcome them to go to our website at eagleslandingchristiancounseling.com. And on our homepage, there's a green bubble. It literally says contact. You click on that green bubble, and then you'll see a link that says new client start here. And it will really take you through the process of scheduling an intake with me, where I will connect you with a counselor that's fitting for your situation. So it's not really a counseling session, it's just intake when you schedule that time with me, no cost or anything of that nature.
So it's not really, it's an appointment, but it's not an appointment for counseling. It's to ask questions, to
Right,
find out what about the costs, to check out your insurance, to figure
right.
out if it's going to be a fit for you, and to get started.
Yes. And a lot of
Wonderful.
times I can go ahead and get them scheduled right then. Some of our counselors here make their own appointments. I make sure they get the information so they can be seen, or I'll go ahead and get them scheduled right then and there for an actual counseling session.
Mhm. And I think you do an absolutely wonderful job. And I've gotten great feedback about the sensitivity you have when doing an intake, the care you show and demonstrate with the folks that want to make an appointment.
Right.
Unfortunately, we aren't able to answer our phones 24/7. Some people get upset about that, us not
Oh
being
God,
able to
yes.
answer the phone. But when they call, if they will leave us a voicemail, we will call them back. I know you're very good about that, you and
Right.
Yvette, who's at our front desk in the afternoons. But we are trying to automate as much as possible since we're a nonprofit. We try to use the money that is donated to the best of our ability, and we try not to turn anybody away if at all possible.
Oh,
So if
absolutely.
people call and don't get anyone, we want them to leave a message, and we want to be able to call them back.
And also when you call, I have the steps to schedule a Calendly intake with me as well. So there are options, and I typically will contact you back within 24 hours. Otherwise, it's best, like you were mentioning, being a nonprofit, just trying to make sure we reach everyone. It is best to go ahead and schedule a Calendly intake with me. It's a greater hit for us to connect together. But I definitely attempt to give a call back within 24 hours,
And
business hours.
how soon is it usually that people can get on your calendar?
Oh, that when you go to our website, the Calendly, sometimes it's same day, as early
Oh,
as same
good.
day. Yeah. And then the appointments, if you're using insurance, it's normally 7 days out because we have to verify the insurance. But if it's self-pay, sometime if we can get the paperwork and all that taken care of, it can be as early as the next day. So we try to meet you right where you are. Like we meet them right where they are because we know that just even calling is a feat in itself. So
Yeah, I know.
we want to get you right there in the moment to get you taken care of. Is that it's major to even call. So we know that there is a need if you're calling for counseling.
Yeah, that's a big step. And we
Yes.
offer marriage counseling and we offer
Yeah.
some family counseling. But I heard you mention trauma quite a bit because we are a trauma focused counseling center. And we believe that a lot, that research shows that a lot of mental health or emotional health issues are related to especially childhood trauma, but all kinds of past trauma. So I
Oh,
also
yeah.
heard you say that we focus on what's happened to you as opposed to what's wrong with you. And that is somewhat revolutionary in the counseling field. Um,
Absolutely.
and so, can you share your personal experience? What led you to Eagles Landing Christian Counseling, first of all? And
Yeah.
then, how has that shaped your approach to counseling for yourself as a certified Christian counselor? And a little bit just about your testimony.
Sure. Denise. Got me crying. So I started at Eagles Landing back in 2013 as as an intern doing my undergrad here. I didn't even know Christian counseling existed. So to even start here in 2013 and just learn the basics of counseling, learning the front office, and just the staff really welcomed me in. Like this was a family, this was home. So I learned the basics of Christian counseling, and I did get to sit in on a few sessions as well. And then here we go, full circle. Here it is. I contacted you in 2022. So 9 years later, that's divine completion. So I'm like, this is it. This is finality. God has brought me back. And then, of course, I started as in trying to get my hours. As then God would shift me into pastoral counseling. And then you offered me intake coordinator as a that's just ministry to me. Like I
Mm,
said, just having them call us is ministry. It's a step, it's a cry, it's hey, I need some help. And then of course now as associate director. So just moving as God would have me move. And so just to go back a bit, we have counselors need counseling as well. Iron sharpens iron. So I had the opportunity to do counseling, and I did counseling here. We went through 12 STR. Denise, I really thought I was good. I'm like, I'll just try the counseling, how I'm gonna be a counselor and not really go through my own process. And lo and behold, I really thought I was good until I found out I was not. I really was
yeah.
not. Um, Denise, oh my goodness. When I was doing counseling, I'm like, why am I crying? Where are these emotions coming from? But I just needed to begin the process of healing. I had been through molestation at 4,
Wow.
as early as 4. Yeah. And I just tell my story, Denise, as a testament to God and what He has done. But I had to do the work. So I had gone through molestation and rape,
Mm,
neglect, abuse, all of that, but God. And when I went through 12 STR, the trauma therapy, I just became whole. I was able to be free. My counselor, Noah, he just met me where I was. And when I would have my sessions, I'm like, why am I crying? I thought I was good. I thought I was over. This happened so many years ago. Like, why is it still sitting there? But he took me back to the experience and helped me get that hug that I didn't get when I was 4,
mm,
or that acknowledgement or that affirmation when I was 16. And he just kind of walked me through. But I had to do the work. And at that point, I was really ready to begin to heal from the
yeah.
trauma that was
Yeah.
done to me. And a lot
Wow.
of times I really thought I had did something wrong. But no, I didn't do it. It was done to me, but I
Ah.
did start the process.
So you were carrying around this shame from this
Mm.
past abuse and didn't even realize it until you started going through the process of healing through the strategic trauma and abuse recovery system.
Denise thought I was good. I don't know. I guess I had just suppressed it for so many years.
Yeah.
I was 4 when that began, that I can even remember. And here I am in my 50s and just now healing through the process. And I'm just really thankful to be where I am in this season of healing and just being a voice and helping others understand you're not by yourself. You're not by yourself. You don't have to sit in it. You don't have to. We're here. We have counselors here to really help you through this process. And it's
Yes.
worth it. It's worth it. My family, I'm sure, can attest. It's worth it. My family, my friends, my coworkers, really, they know there's been a change because I am free.
Yeah. They can see the difference in the way
Yeah,
you behave, the way you think, and your
yeah.
attitude and your energy level and that type of thing. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And after the 12 STR, I got a tattoo. I know you probably can't see
Oh,
it. It
what's
says,
it
I
say?
fought and I won.
Oh, wow. I
And I
love that.
fought and I won. I won. I'm like, wow, thank you, God, just for just being in a place. I didn't know I would come here and get counseling, but God did. And I'm just so excited about that.
Yes, that's wonderful. And Noah is a counselor actually that's been well trained and used 12 STR for a number of years, who's in New Jersey. So you
Yeah.
did all of this through telehealth
Yes.
with our counselor that we help everybody in our office who needs who wants to go through the 12 STR. We're able to provide a scholarship for them to go through a source of trauma. And you took advantage of that. Um,
Absolutely.
and even through telehealth, you
Yes.
experience the same healing.
Oh God, yes, absolutely. And it was worth it. I'm telling you, I just didn't know. I really didn't know. I really thought, just being honest, like from my culture, we're like, go to church, pray about it, go to the altar, give it to
Yep.
God. You're
And that's
good.
it. Yep.
And that's it. And no, it's
There's
not
nothing
it.
else to be done.
Yeah, you're good. And
And
if
forget about
it
it and move on.
right, yeah, suck it up, buttercup, get over it. You're good. Give it to God.
Yeah.
Give it to God. And even here, sometimes you got to help them get to the point of being able to give it to God. Everybody's
Yes.
not even there or doesn't even understand what that means. What does that mean? Give it to God.
Actually, 12 STR is a way of doing that, isn't it?
Yes,
Isn't
it is.
12 STR a structured way of giving it to God?
Yes, it really is. And with 12 STR, I had to, like I said, go back to that 4 year
Mm-hmm.
old little girl and write the facts and feelings that I experienced or that I could remember that I experienced, and then go through a process of forgiving. That
Mm.
was major. Just forgiving because sometimes you have to forgive when you don't get, and I'm sorry,
Yeah.
you still have to kind of forgive. And
Mm.
that was major. That was
Yeah.
because, again, I thought I had forgiven. I thought I was good because I did go to church and I did pray. I'm like, God, heal me, please. But this was just the final step to getting to where I
Right.
am or what I needed to get
Because
to.
forgiveness is not the beginning, forgiveness is at the end
Yeah,
of the accounting process for all the damage and all the things that were taken from you. As a
yeah,
grief, as you're grieving through all of those things, forgiveness. Sometimes it seems like people in church use forgiveness as a way of avoiding dealing with past trauma. What would you say to people, someone who's out there who hears your story and is struggling? Do I try this? Do I not try this? Or someone who says, I'll go to counseling, but I'm not going to talk about my past. I don't want to get into deep talk about my past. What would you say to someone?
I would say you're selling yourself short. You're doing a disservice, honestly, to yourself and your family and your loved ones. And even here, you have it now. A counselor is not your friend, but you just have someone to help you. through this process. And as a counselor myself, I let clients, you're not alone. You are not
Yes.
alone. You
Yes.
do not have to carry this alone. You really don't. And it's worth it. It really is worth it. And God is with you along the way. Because I get a lot of clients, Denise, and they'll say, I just don't want to go back there. I don't want to. I don't want to revisit that.
Yeah.
And I think this is part of the 12 STR, the brain. It's trying to heal. It's trying to heal. If you get a scratch, God created our bodies, it kind of heals. If it's just minor
Mm-hmm.
scratch, okay, no band-aid sometimes. But when trauma happens to the brain and it's not dealt with, it's just a festering sore. You
Yeah.
have to get some help. It's
Yeah.
required that you get some help to heal through this journey and the process. It's
Mm.
just important. It's worth it. It really is
Yeah.
worth it.
Yeah. Wonderful. So I know that we've had a couple of complaints about people not getting calls back, and they have decided they're going to post those on Google. What can you say about that? What can you say about trying to contact people back when they do want to call and make an appointment?
I would definitely, so the number here, 678-271-0200. You can even text that number if you feel like we haven't reached out or we keep playing phone tag and that happens. You've called, I've missed you, and vice versa. So I'm
So
like,
that's your
but we want to
direct
reach you.
line. That's your
That is
direct
my
line.
direct line.
Because the
Yes,
main
that
number
is
is 678-289-6981. But
81.
you are giving out your direct line. Can you say it
My
one more
direct
time?
number, 678-271-0200.
That's
You can
wonderful.
call or
Thank you so
text
much. Yes, if
that
somebody's
number.
having a problem, sometimes I know that you call people back and their voicemail isn't set up or their voicemail's full. And you try texting them. Some people don't have text set up.
That is
So it's
true.
very hard sometimes to get a hold of people. One of the reasons we set up a calendar appointment so that we
Yes,
don't miss people. So we're doing everything we can to try to make sure we serve people, short of having a 24-hour hotline.
and Denise, when I miss them, I will, like you said, I will send them a text like, sorry, I've missed you. Please sign up on our Calendly. And some will. And once you sign up with it to complete an intake with me, I'll then send you a link to go ahead and start the process. You put in your name, date of birth, address, even your insurance information. So when I do call you, it's a quicker process because you've done the
Oh,
work.
yeah.
So I will
And
send you a link.
everything is protected where
Oh God,
they
yes.
they register and they put their personal information. Everything is HIPAA compliant and
Yes.
protected so that nobody's information is disclosed or exposed, or and the calendar
Exposed,
doesn't have
right.
anybody else's name on there. They can't see anybody else's name. They can
Nope.
only pick from a time that's available,
Absolutely.
and their
Absolutely.
name doesn't display either.
Right. That is correct. But I do my best to reach the clients or potential clients that reach out to us because we know that's a major step that you've
Yeah,
taken. And
that
in that
is. Yeah.
moment, we want to reach you right there because if we
Yes.
let too many days go by, you may change your mind.
That's right.
No, we want to
We
catch
want
you.
to,
So
that's right. Because we know that God heals trauma. And
God
we
heals
know
trauma.
that God cares about mental health and He cares about our mental health and He wants to heal us.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. He really does. And he has counselors here, Denise, to help, to
Mhm.
really help through the process.
Yes,
Iron sharpens iron. That's what we're
that's
here
right.
to do. You're not by yourself. A lot of
Yeah.
times they're like, counseling is not necessary. It's needed. It's a
Hmm.
requirement. It really
Hmm.
is to be successful. It
Yeah.
really is.
Yeah.
And I would just really recommend speaking to someone. You need someone to
Yeah.
speak to, and
Yeah.
especially when you're dealing with trauma and grief, anxiety, depression, just any dynamic of life, you need someone.
Yeah. All right. So people can go to our website,
Mm-hmm.
eagleslandingchristiancounseling.com, which is long. But they can also go to elccc.org,
Yes,
and that's the same website.
same
Um,
site.
Same site, so they can go there, they can click on the calendar, they can see where we are. They can also see pictures of our counselors and read a little bit about them so they can choose a specific counselor because we've
Absolutely.
females and males, African American, we have a Spanish speaking counselor, we have
Yes,
people that do online counseling, people who do in-person counseling. We have we try to serve our community as best as we can.
absolutely.
Thank you,
Absolutely.
Shante. Thanks for taking your time. Thanks for sharing your testimony. And I'm hoping, I saw that you've started a book about your
Yay.
testimony, and I'm hoping we're gonna get to see that soon,
Yes.
also. So thank you very much. I
Thank
appreciate
you,
you being here
Denise.
today.
No problem at all. It's an honor. It really is. I am so excited to be on this in this season of healing and being a part of Eagles Landing Christian Counseling Center.
Thank you.
All righty.